being here in the top 8 universities in the country to give you a message of something that I hope will save your lives and save the lives of those you touch. It is a message that I hope will save you from the pain and the shame and the humiliation that I faced had I heard this speech when I was an undergraduate.
So talk about your life because you call it genetic depression because more than you and your family suffered from depression, but not everybody was willing to face it like you have.
That's right. Actually, it is genetic, and it is the bipolar part is genetic. It ran through my family kind of like a Kansas tornado. You remember Kansas tornado?
Exactly.
So, yeah, my dad had it and wasn't diagnosed until 2 years before he died. He died at 62 and lived a pretty miserable life and, ran from stigma and never got treatment.
Can you give us a quick overview of Escape from Myself, a Manic Depressive's Journey to Nowhere?
Yes, I go into detail about my life experience really from the start. As a child, witnessing domestic violence had an impact on me. And then my mother died suddenly when I was 14 years old. She had a brain aneurysm. She was 34. And that seemed to be the thing that kicked off my
17 minutes
bipolar.
is a sliver of time. In 17 minutes, you can take a shower, or prepare a meal, or watch half of 2.5 Men. I was tempted with Charlie Sheen jokes this morning, but in the next 17 minutes, someone, somewhere in the United States will be dead. A victim of suicide, one of the 30,000 suicides we have every year in the United States. Dark depressions. I would tell myself like a little boy whistling in the dark, well, maybe if I prayed more, they'd go away. One day it got so bad, I walked into the bathroom of our apartment while my wife was in class, lay down on the floor in front of a gas heater, and turned on the gas. Something forced me to turn off the gas and open the door. I don't know what it was. Was I afraid of death? Was I causing people problems? I don't know. But the depression had been that bad. When I wasn't depressed, I was very active in the theater as an actor. One year I played Scrooge in A Christmas Carol and got standing ovations after every performance. And it was exhilarating. I was convinced that maybe I should become a professional actor and not a preacher. But those were challenging times for me and trying to decide what I was going to do. You see, I didn't know anything about mental illness. There were clues that I was mentally ill, the deep, dark depressions, of course. But then there was another clue. You see, the psych majors who were friends of mine would have me do a little test every semester. It was called the Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Inventory, MMPI. Perhaps you've heard of it. It's been the gold standard for testing of psychopathology and personality structure since 1939. I was just doing a favor for them, not knowing that they were probably telling their friends, wait till you see Tom Roberts' score. Look back at it 40 years later, I thought, well, maybe they knew I was nuts. The only thing I knew about mental illness was the funny jokes I thought of the loonies in the state hospital. And then there was my Aunt Bessie. She was my dad's oldest sister. She was a little bit off, and her son, Lester, shot himself in the leg one time to keep from going to school. I learned years later that he suffered from paranoid schizophrenia, but never treated because of fear of stigma in the family, that somebody was getting psychiatric help. Today, my cousin Lester is in his 80s and living in the old house his mother owned and somewhere in Missouri, eating food out of cans that people give to him. That was the extent of my knowledge of mental illness.
And you mentioned earlier your brother and your sister were afflicted with bipolar, and is it fair to say that genetics seems to play a role, and it did in your development of bipolar?
Oh, definitely. In fact, in my book, I say my experience with bipolar began the moment my mother was impregnated by me, by my dad, so it began there. And it is going through my family. It went through my family like a Kansas tornado.
I wanted to ask you, what are some ways you recommend that we as undergraduates, what steps can we take to reduce the stigma?
Undergraduate you can do about a mental illness is whenever you hear somebody stigmatizing, he's crazy, or some nutcase, whatever, just bring it to their attention. We don't say that when somebody has cancer. No, they have cancer. We won't criticize them, like cancer, heart disease, whatever. And just remind them, we're not talking about a chosen behavior, we're talking about an illness that can be treated. But that kind of comment that you hear from other people only discourages people from getting the help that they need.